Hello, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And I'm back because the main question again is this it? Is this going to be the protest that we're looking for? If you remember, I kept on and on saying we cannot get it done with rallies and campaigns and jalses and jalous. We need an honest to God protest. And finally, it's here. But number one, how long will it last? Number two, which kind of contradicts number one, it doesn't really matter how long it lasts. The effects are going to be humongous. As we can see, as soon as Imran Khan had given the final call in which he said on the 24th, everybody needs to be mobilized, everybody needs to get out. People got out. But I guess, as usual, as always, our government closed up all the roads, especially they tried to close up Islamabad, they tried to close up the motorways, the highways leading to Islamabad. They tried to close up other cities and their boundaries with their most favorite containers, shipping containers. But also the mainstream media was literally trying its hardest to say, oh, it has failed, oh, it has failed, oh, the protest has failed, oh, he gave a call but nobody came, as usual, lying their asses off. But you see, this time their lie got caught by the international media, which, by the way, is very surprising. I find it very surprising that the international media suddenly decided to cover it all because, knowing the mainstream international media, you wouldn't expect them to cover it. You can see a bit of a distortion in their coverage in the sense that they're saying, oh, supporters of Imran Khan, which is in a way true. But I mean, if they had said it more correctly, it would have been the people of Pakistan. Because remember, the supporters of Imran Khan are the people of Pakistan. He has the highest number of supporters because the people of Pakistan are with him. It's not like he has his party supporters, It's not like it's his party members only. It's the people of Pakistan coming out. Well, anyway, but the point is that the mainstream media kind of decided to give it full coverage. They literally mentioned how the government was trying to close down this, that the government had literally closed down the cities and the highways and the roads and the boundaries. And they mentioned how, the protest is going on all over the world. And because of this, our mainstream media had no choice but to then try to grudgingly accept that, yes, okay, there's a huge number coming towards Islamabad, but they haven't yet reached. Well, obviously, they hadn't yet reached. They were too busy removing obstacles from the roads. The imagery, the powerful imagery that one could see all over the world and in Pakistan of people getting together. You saw it in New York, you saw it in London, you saw it in Canada, Vancouver, you saw it in Athens, you saw it in Spain, you saw it in France, you saw it. And the fact that in London it is said to have been the largest protest ever staged by Pakistanis in England in the history, of protests that England has ever seen of another community, and that even right in front of the Prime Minister House when a new government has just come in. So that was something. Especially when the ministers, about 20 ministers, have also already petitioned to the British government that the release of Imran Khan has to be, it has to be enforced. The fact that in America a huge crowd was out in Times Square, the fact that in Vancouver there was this huge long line of Pakistanis. It was the fact that all the Pakistanis decided to come out as requested, as called by Imran Khan, on the same day to stage a protest at the same time all over the world. In Japan, that was very impressive to see that the Pakistanis in Japan were like, okay, yeah, that's it, So this powerful imagery forced the world to sit up. The Turkish television was obviously, the TRT was definitely going to, broadcast it, obviously. For the fact that BBC, CNN, and the others, had to also, or decided to talk about it, to broadcast it, to openly show it. This was something that helped in a number of ways. The lies that our government was trying to, portray, put forward, it just fell flat. The fact that the Pakistani government is not accepted by anybody in the world is also something that has somehow come out. Because when you allow your mainstream media to show the political upheaval, to show the protests, to show that change that a country is trying to bring about, then it means you are also basically accepting the fact that you also would not actually side with the government right now, or that you would not actually be, you know, thinking about defending the current government of Pakistan. We know that Australia has very openly gone against the methods of this government, and they have questioned the legality, the legal status of this government. We know that. But the fact that Canada, America, UK, America and the UK being the key players behind this whole stench that is in Pakistan, the fact that they had to go against their own decision and come out and accept the fact that, yeah, things went wrong. This is their way of accepting the fact that they did things wrong. This is their way of accepting the fact that, okay, they need to back down. Now, the question here is that the army is still entwined with the US planted politicians here, the US planted government, the illegal government. In what hopes, one might ask? Especially since Trump is now coming over. Yes, one expects Trump to behave this time, because the Jewish lobby that brought in Trump, despite the fact that obviously, yes, the Jewish lobby also had no choice. But the fact that they brought Trump is also important in the sense that this time they will not allow Trump to go rogue. He tried it when he talked in favor of the protests, the pro-Palestinian protests. But as you can see, he was immediately told to behave, and he behaved. So, yeah, one cannot expect Trump to get his way, although he might try. Yes, people are expecting that he will still try, because he would much rather deal with Imran Khan than with this government, that the last government worked with the American establishment to place. And as we know, Trump basically has set his goals that he wants to rip apart the American establishment, the deep state, and everything. So there is that. But again, as I said, I am not sure that he would actually be able to do that, because I think that he is going to be a little more restricted than he was last time, and he will have to probably behave most of the time. So I don't know still what goals it is that he needs to be met and what it is that he will actually get done. So I do not have much hopes from Trump at this point regarding Imran Khan, despite the fact that everybody does. But let's see. The point is that the people of Pakistan, the fact that they actually united, as I said, Imran Khan is the only person that ever unites the people of Pakistan. After Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Qaid-e-Azam, nobody else has united the people of Pakistan the way Imran Khan has. The fact that his wife has taken the opportunity to lead the march with Gandapur, this is a very, very pleasant, very welcoming surprise, because although, yeah, the oppositions the opposition being the illegal government, they will try to make a story out of it and say, oh, there's a fight for leadership amongst them, or they might try to declare her by way of her dressing that she's an extremist and whatever. But the point is that will not fly. Number one, because nobody's going to buy that. Number two, looking at the history of the different women that Imran Khan has married, and the women of his own family, the fact that there's a lot of diversity in the women in his life, or should I say amongst the women in his life, that speaks louder than words, really. So he has, his sisters are very modern. His present wife, we all knew, everybody always knew that she is a very religious lady. His first wife, Jemima, as we all know. His second wife, again, we all know. They were very, very modern. So yeah, no, this is not gonna fly. Nobody cares. Okay. Number two, the again the diversity of women within PTI, within the political party that Imran Khan heads, is also something that's worth noting. You see the likes of, Mrs. Dar. You see the likes of Zartaj Gul, you see the likes. I mean, you see all of these. You see all these ladies, all these young and older ladies from various fields and walks in walks of life, and you see all these women who are from various diverse age groups and family backgrounds, and they're all right now leading their people towards Islamabad, right? They're giving speeches. Imran Khan's wife just now gave us a very powerful speech, which was applauded by everybody. As I said, this is something that you need to understand. When people try to paint a picture about, women in Pakistan, I, I, when I look at it very objectively, to be very, very honest, I have seen that Pakistan is the kind of place where if you decide to make a place for yourself, everybody accepts you regardless of your gender. They don't care even if you're, seriously, they just don't care who or what you are. If you have decided to move forward and make a place, they will automatically let you have that place. They really don't care. That's why you will see all kinds of women in all walks of life doing, and yes, there are women who have had very tough times, but to be very honest, you cannot say that it is because of gender bias as much as it is basically our general toxic culture. And our toxic culture is equally toxic for both men and women, and we need to honestly accept that. So that at the end of the day, it's not gender bias as much as it is just plain honest to God toxicity. So yeah, this is my own experience too, and I've seen women in our country. This is something I've said many times even before. In our country, actually, you will see that women are a major workforce. So that concept that people try to paint, saying that, oh, women in Pakistan, people don't let them go out of their homes. No, you don't know what you're talking about. That is a small part of Pakistan. There are families, yes, that do not like their women to go out or whatever, but that is in every country. But to make a whole culture out of it, I think is wrong, objectively speaking. Because if you go to the villages, for example, and you should know that a huge majority of our population are based in the villages and small cities. And in the villages and small cities, women make up for a large number of the workforce. In fact, a majority of the workforce in the villages and in the small cities are women. Okay? So yeah, there is no sort of gender bias in everyday life or in your general living standards. No. The gender bias comes in particular pockets. There are certain specific pockets within the country. And as I said, you will find those pockets in every country all over the world. So to try to generalize it will be completely wrong. As many people have slowly come to realize as they have traveled more and more to Pakistan, they have seen that it doesn't matter who or what or how you are, people just accept you the way you are. If you have decided to accept yourself the way you are, and if you boldly make a stand on it. So, basically, what I'm trying to say is you have seen Imran Khan's wife lead this humongous crowd towards Islamabad with Amin Kandapur, the KPK chief minister. And you've seen Zartaj Gul lead her party towards Islamabad, and you will see other females leading their groups towards Islamabad. And, they have finally reached Islamabad. At least one of the groups has reached, the rest are following. And this is a good sign. The fact that they went through all the obstacles, they removed the containers. Now this is one thing which I find very more ironic. And I do tend to get a bit sarcastic towards this because I do feel that sometimes Pakistanis, when they decide to be good, they become a bit too goody goody. I mean, for example, for crying out loud, the police officers, the policemen are shooting rubber bullets at you. They are throwing tear gas at you. And then when they get caught in their own fiasco, then you, the victims, are rescuing those policemen and taking them to safety. Seriously, at least give them two smacks before you rescue them, for our sake. Just give them two smacks before you rescue them. Why do you have to be such goody goody two shoes? Seriously, this is the most sublime moment here for you to really beat the shit out of them and then rescue them. I know I would do that. I would literally smack them first real hard, break a few teeth of them, and then say, okay, come on, let me take you to safety. Because to be honest, the Punjab police do not deserve to be treated well by the people, considering what they have been doing to the people for the past 2 years. Now, although there is this other story that's coming in, that as soon as the crowd of people entered Islamabad, about 20,000 of the police men and the workforce fled the scene. Well, that's, I guess, a good thing. They'd much rather just get away from it all than clash with the people. That's probably a much wiser decision, But then, as I said, Islamabad police has always had a history of trying never to clash with the people. They paid very heavily for that. The current government literally killed the then chief of police, I remember, the one who protected the people during their protests before the elections, before the previous elections, before Imran Khan won the election and became prime minister. I'm talking about that time. So yeah, the Islamabad police paid very heavily for that. But I do think that if the police relentlessly continued, for example, look, even in Britain, in England, when there was a pro-Palestinian protest and the British government tried to order the London Metropolitan Police, if I got it right, I think it was the Metropolitan Police. But anyway, the point is that they tried to order the police to, to clash with the protesters, to stop them, to arrest them. And again, the chief of police, he just blatantly said no. He said, it's their right. We will stand to make sure that everybody is safe and everything is fine. We will make sure that nobody gets hurt. We will protect everybody. We're not going to hurt anybody. We're not going to arrest anybody. We're not going to do anything because it's their right. So he just, very bluntly refused. So there are these instances. Yes, you could say that in London, nobody's going to get him killed for that. Whereas in Pakistan, this government, the US planted government, does exactly that. They kill the people who go against them. But again, coming back to the army, what is the army going to do? To be honest, I don't expect anything from the army. I think the army is still going to push ahead because, as I said, the army is deeply entwined with these politicians, and not because they want to, because basically what the army actually wants is to get full control, to get out of the shadow dictatorship and go into open dictatorship with the American establishment, which is the actual master of the Pakistani army. They are not letting them come out of the shadows. They want them to be a shadow dictator, right? They want the army to work as a shadow dictator with puppets in front, because the American establishment cannot afford to openly deal with the dictator. In other words, that's why they need the whole drama, the whole stage set. But again, as I said, because America right now is at that very, very sensitive point where they are fighting this war with Israel against Muslims in general, So they cannot afford to get Imran Khan out because, as I said, the reason why Imran Khan was in, there are many reasons why they didn't want him out. And one of those many reasons is that he is a force against them. He's a force in the sense that he will not allow Pakistan or Pakistan's army to be used against Palestine or against Kashmir or against any other Muslim country or for any war whatsoever. He will not allow Pakistan's soil to be used for war. And he will not allow Pakistanis to sacrifice themselves in the name of war. Because this is something that we had done after the 9/11 charade. That was essentially a false flag operation by the American government, just so that the American government could wage war against certain particular Muslim countries so that they could strategically put their bases there. And so that is what is not good about the American establishment or the American government or the American army, is that they always want to have a base in every single country so that they can use that country in the time of war. And any country that tries to tell them to remove their base or to restrict their activities, the leader of that country either gets killed or jailed, something happens. Or any country that is completely out of American control, and that country is the only country that can literally pit heads with the American government, that country's leader is also, one way or the other, killed, like Iran, right? So there is one thing I can say, and I think that this is actually a moment of pride and joy, that the two things that Imran Khan set out to do, it's being done, even though he's in jail, but those things are moving ahead. One is the unity, the unitedness of all the Muslim countries once again getting together, standing as a group. They have taken their sweet time. After he went to jail, things became almost chaotic, but slowly and steadily they're making it there. They've made it there, where they are now standing as one big voice of unity, against Israel. It is still better than nothing, and nothing is what they did before. So yes, this is still something. Obviously, according to the Palestinians, according to the Muslim scholars, according to all the Muslim governments, the leaders, anybody and everybody concerned, they all say this, that if Imran Khan was out, then major steps would have been taken against Israel and in favor of Palestine, because he was the one who literally highlighted everything all over again, standing in the United Nations where he very openly, blatantly talked about the Western bias and, the Islamophobia. He's the one who used this word, Islamophobia. And he's the one who, put this word in the dictionary, basically. He coined this word. And this is the word now that's being used all over the world. And he's the one who he was trying to unite all the Muslim leaders. He's the one who worked, in making Saudi Arabia and Iran, friends. He's the one who worked hard to put them on one side instead of the opposite sides. And you can see the fruits of it. Again, as I said, there was a bit of a break in between when he was jailed, when he was imprisoned, but you're seeing the fruits of it. You're seeing a little bit of the fruition of it. Similarly, you see the Malaysian government getting very active, which is something you never saw before. You see Indonesian government getting active, which is again something you never saw before. So this is something that he worked hard for, and you kind of see something coming out of it. Similarly, he's the one who highlighted the Kashmir issue, not just the Palestine issue, but the Kashmir issue, and he highlighted the way funds are moving, how the IMF, the World Bank, how certain funds are moving, and how people have to pay for those funds that never reach the people in the first place. He talked very openly about the corruption behind that, about how the Western governments are a part of it. They are a part of that corruption, especially the American government, and how this is basically one of the ways that they kind of, suppress other countries, keep control over other countries, and make money, You have France doing it with African countries. You have England and America doing it with other countries. So it's going on, you know. Similarly, he has voiced, you know, about many important matters. And then, one of the main things is this dealing in local currency with China has started with other countries and Iran and all. Again, this was something that Imran Khan started. This is something that he literally started with China and other neighboring countries, that, okay, we will not be dealing in US dollars, we'll be dealing in our own local currencies so that we can boost ours and our neighbors' currency. And there we are. So he was removed from the scene, but China went ahead, Iran went ahead, other countries went ahead, and they are dealing in their own local currency. So these are the two major things that Imran Khan started. And it's, it's setting off. You can see it working. It's in motion. But yes, the whole world knows that it is extremely, extremely vital for our cause that Imran Khan is out. And similarly, it is extremely vital for the American and Israeli cause that Imran Khan stays in. Which is why the American government has just been pretentiously playing this whole drama, this whole game of, pretending that, oh yeah, no, they want Imran Khan out and all. Same as with the British government, because at the end of the day, as I keep on reminding everybody, America is also not a sovereign state. At the end of the day, America is also literally still a colony of the British government. So the fact that America has this mission that it has to go through, in order to get that done, they need Imran Khan out of the way, because he was somebody who was putting obstacles in almost everything. So basically, with the things that he was doing are the very things that could impede upon their success. Because if you suddenly stop trading in US dollars, then obviously the US dollars is no longer the mighty US dollar. It never was in the first place. It's a superficial value that they put on it. But still, it is superficially a powerful currency. The power would have rapidly gone down the drain, superficially as well. And then similarly, if you're working to unite all the Muslim countries towards having an actual voice, uniting their armies to have an actual force, so basically being better than the UN, because the UN is basically just for show. It doesn't really have any power. But if the OIC regained its actual status, what it originally was formed to do, if it started officially, working on that, and if they had their own united army, then how would that be? How would that come across to the Western world? So whether you like it or not, the fact is that the Western world is indeed targeting the Muslim world. Whether you like it or not, they are indeed targeting their former colonies. They are indeed targeting specific geographical regions, and it is mainly obviously to maintain control or to regain control so that they can keep on ripping off of resources, which is what they really lack themselves. But it's also, some sort of a sick game in which they actually believe they're such narcissists that they actually believe that they are gods on earth and that it is their right to own the whole world. We are actually dealing with such mentally retarded psychopaths. So, like it or not, the conspiracy of that top 1% is real. We kind of, as they say, the truth is stranger than fiction. That's just how it is. So, like it or not, this is literally a war of power, of wanting to regain power, wanting to regain control, wanting to recolonize. And in that, anybody or anything that comes in the way needs to be removed. So, back to basically my point, I will not expect the Western governments, especially the United States and the UK, I would not expect them to take, concrete measures to ensure that Imran Khan is out and safe. But I am hoping that this is the protest. I'm hoping that this is going to be the protest that I have always been talking about, that we need this, you know. Again, how long will it last? Let's see. How long will it last all over the world? Let's see. Not just in Pakistan, but all over the world. Let's see how long it lasts. But yes, it has been very powerful. The fact that it was so powerful that the Western media, the international media, were obliged to cover it. Let's see again how long and how much more are they going to cover it. That's also another thing that we need to see. How much noise are they going to make with us? How much hype are they going to add to it? That is what we need to see, because that will eventually make a difference. Yes. If they keep it, even if they keep it in a one-liner sort of a part of their news every day, that okay, even today as we speak, it's going on. Yes, even today as we speak, it's going on. Yes, another third day, it's going on. So that in itself would make a difference. So let's see what happens. This is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.